graduate of one of India's premier business schools,
मिलावट नहीं होगी बस।
decided to investigate corruption that he encountered while he was on his job.
गांधी जी ने तो गोली खाई थी, क्या तू खाएगा गोली?
गुल्लू रुकना, मैं बात कर रहा हूँ।
खाएगा मेरे से?
इस धंधे के भीतर ज्यादा घुसने की कोशिश मत करो।
He lost his life in the process.
मार साले को!
Shanmugam Manjunath was 27 years old in November of 2005 when his bullet-ridden body was found in Lakhimpur Kheri in Uttar Pradesh. The Indian Oil Corporation employee had taken on the oil mafia. Hello and welcome. That brave life, those brave principles are now at the center of a film titled Manjunath, Idiot Tha Sala. I think the title itself evokes so many questions and so many emotions in a sense that we are very, very fortunate to have amongst us today the men and women who've been associated with this film on the Citizen Journalist Show. Thank you very much for joining us here on this show. But I also must tell each one of you here in the audience and perhaps those watching that this is such a depressingly familiar story, and often those who fight corruption face intimidation, threats, and often have no support, especially that when it comes to the law. So let me take no time, but first introduce the men and women sitting here with me. Sandeep Verma, who's the director of the film. Next to him is Raghavendra, Manjunath's brother, the very prolific Seema Biswas, who will be playing Manjunath's mother in that film. And at the far end is Sasha, who is the actor who's playing Manjunath's character in the film. Thank you very much for joining us. Also on the stage are Sonam Sherpa, Nitin Malik and Subir Malik, who've together made their debut as music composers for this film. And their friend Sumit from Desi Roots will also be joining us today on the show. I possibly can't think of a better debut or a better subject to make a debut. So thanks very much, guys. Sandeep, I'm going to start with you because I'm very, very intrigued by this subline that you've chosen, Idiot Tha Sala.
Yeah,
Does that in some way set the tone and tenor of this film?
Well, it's in some way set the tone and tenor of the script itself. This film came to me, actually it picked me rather than me picking it. And I do some advertising work, and the trustees of the Manjunath Shanmugam Trust contacted me, wanted me to do some posters and booklets. So as I researched for that, I got more intrigued by the whole story. So I went on researching and got stuck deeper and deeper into it. I realized that in fact he had been put guns to his head and be extremely brave. He had in fact got confused as to what he should do, whether he should do his duty at his work or whether he should do his duty towards his family, because here it was coming in conflict. And then he took the brave decision of going back and fighting out there.
So who says Idiot Tha Sala in the film, or you don't want to give it away?
So the whole thing, in fact, Manju himself says Idiot Tha Sala in the film. Manju himself poses the question to the audience that whether I was stupid or whether I was great is for the audience to decide.
You know, Raghavendra, just on that note, on that emotion, because I've seen many, many interviews of your parents and you as well. And at many points in time, you've been at great pains to tell people that this wasn't naive, this wasn't foolhardy, this wasn't a man who was just rushing or acting in haste. He was very, very brave and acting according to his principles.
See, I have been seeing him from my childhood. We studied in the same school, and then the one thing I used to observe about him is that he used to get involved in those things which like people used to feel, why should I bother about it? I can give an example is that he just came back after traveling some journey, and then he told me like someone was teasing a girl and he went and bashed him. I told, what does that you got to do with it? If someone is teasing a girl, what is she related to you?
To you. Post the tragedy, did the family continue to hear this sentiment, that Idiot Tha Sala, you know, that he knew this, that this was going to happen to anyone who was going to take on corruption in such a way, or that particular sector, the oil sector in that?
I'll just interject here. When I first went and met Manjunath's parents, there's only one conversation I had with the mother, who was extremely emotional. I knew that they were from a middle class family, I knew they were grieving, but I expected proud parents. But the mother was hurt because she, till then as well, people would imply to her that he was naive. Her only brief to me for giving permission to make this film was to show that Manju was a real hero.
But how did she react when someone said that he may have been naive or that he took on corruption? How did your parents react, or how did your mother react at that point in time?
It's something like, can't believe it, like my mother stayed with my brother. She just came back from that place and this incident took place.
That's right.
And she was so closely working with him, like as if like a office assistant with him, like taking out his files, then watching the timings, like when he's coming back. Is that she did not even bother about the corruption or things like that, what is happening out there. They are doing their duty, like why should we bother about other things? Okay.
Seema, how do you get into the skin of a story that is like this? How does one play that character? How does one get into the skin of the character and the story?
First of all, Sandeep ji, he came to my place and narrated the, narrated about Manjunath, actually, not the script and film and all. And the way I still remember that the way he was explaining me, narrated the whole moment. And for me, it was really shocking that oil mafia and everything I came to know first time. But being an artist, I feel like little bit just to show the respect towards Manjunath.
This was more than a character?
More than a character, yes. So I feel like I should be part of it, whether my role is big or small or what kind of mother, I don't know in detail.
Sasha, the same question to you. How much of the real Manjunath have you been able to bring to the character?
We haven't, I mean, I haven't met Manju, I mean, I don't think so, of course. So it was completely Sandeep sir's effort to get in, because he was much closer to the character than me. So we had a lot of detailing in terms of sessions. Like we put in a months of effort with every day detailing how a scene could be played. That 1 month of rehearsals got me to do what I did on set. It slowly seeped into me unknowingly.
I'm just wondering, Sandeep, since a lot of this is coming to you, what was your one instruction to him about the character of Manjunath?
When Sasho came into the film, he understood acting as a physical thing. I just told him, feel Manjunath. I don't want to doctor his reactions to another actor's lines. I told him that you're paying respect to a martyr, so have respect for that martyr.
Raghavendra, जब आपने movie देखी, when you saw the movie, how true do you believe it is to the fight and the spirit of your brother?
It's something like, it's so simple and then it's real. Like there's reality on the screen. Like, and after watching the movie, then my dad realized, like he's seeing his son being killed on the screen. So then he felt I should not have, in fact he felt the pinch at that time. He said I should not have agreed for this movie itself. That is how he felt it. Like you cannot imagine your son being shown on a screen and someone is pumping bullet in his body. The entire sequence of the movie is so realistic, is that like thanks to Sandeep sir, is that he has put all efforts to find out the minute details, and we were so much surprised to see how we could get so much details.
I've actually left this question for the last, but I think you bring us to it. Maybe all of you can just give us a sense, what do you believe the viewers' biggest sentiment will be when they actually leave the cinema hall?
It'll be a very inspiring feeling, which I'll tell you, if I could probably share how I felt during the making of the film. Sure. Because the emotions were so intact that I could never be off character, off screen.
Seema, for you?
50-50 for me, like inspiring also, really, like he said, that very provoking, and like yes, we will also protest and fight for it. But at the same time, that's sad that, like, I don't know whom to tell that stop now.
Sandeep, my question to you is that as Raghavendra mentioned, you did the shooting in many parts, also in Lakhimpur Kheri. What was the reaction in Lakhimpur Kheri? Is Manjunath forgotten, remembered, or
no? He's a big hero in those parts. He's remembered. And
how did they react to your shooting?
They would have reacted if they knew. I knew when I come with a 100 people unit, the dangers could be there. But I was stubborn enough to say that I will shoot in UP. So we changed the name of the film. In fact, only our main cast and top technicians knew what film was being shot.
Right.
Rest of the unit did not know. They thought it was a love story. One very surreal incident was, in fact, that we were shooting at a petrol pump outside Lucknow. We had taken permission from the owner under some other name. The owner comes in the evening, asks who the director is. He calls me aside and says that I want to just tell you one thing, that you Bollywood guys keep making all these rubbish movies. I'll tell you a story of a young man in our parts. His name was Manjunath. And for the next 15 minutes, I heard the story of Manjunath through him.
I'm going to focus on the many people who actually came to help the Manjunath family, as well as the many fighters, and many of them also in the audience. But before we take a quick break, I'm handing it to the musicians to play us what you believe is an integral part of the film.
भोली भोली सी आँखें देखे चमचमाती सपने, उनको तू क्यों झुठलाए। ढेरों सपने तू बुने पर मुझसे कुछ ना कहे, जो कहे और मेरा बस चले। हसरतें तेरी सब पूरी कर दूं मैं, कर दे जिद कोई, क्या ना करूं मैं। गुड़िया तू मेरी हो, बच्ची तू मेरी, मेरी अम्मा, मेरी अम्मा।
मेरे पापा के हाथ काट दिए गए दराते से। आवाज उठाने वाले के साथ ऐसा क्यों होता है?
आरटीआई के तहत मैंने जुल्फाएँ मांगी थी, तो सरपंच ने मेरे ऊपर हमला बोला, उसमें मेरे दोनों हाथ पैर टूट गए।
If I want to blow a whistle, I should stop myself. Otherwise, I would end up with the fate what Satyendra Dubey and many others have ended up.
कि चले गए तो अब हमारा क्या होगा?
Welcome back to the Citizen Journalist Show Manjunath special here on CNN IBN. Now the show and the channel have always had a great body of work when it comes to reportage, investigation and follow-up stories, especially when it came to whistleblowers. And as I said at the start, this is a depressingly familiar story, and one that our politicians really haven't had the time to legislate on, in a sense. I must tell our viewers that the Rajya Sabha actually passed the Whistleblowers Protection Bill almost in a hurry with no discussion, and the President hasn't been able to give his assent on it. So currently we do not have any legislation in effect to protect our whistleblowers. I want you to hear from some of the people in the audience who've actually worked on the bill and have faced threat and intimidation when they've tried to get information. I want to start with the three of you who've come in from NCPRI and have actually worked on that legislation. Any one of you can actually take the mic and answer this question, that when you actually hear of a news of someone who has revealed information about his or her organization per se and are facing threat, what is the first support structure that is currently available to them?
Well, currently I think in the draft legislation for the Whistleblowers Protection Act, I think there's a provision to ensure anonymity, which is I think the foremost thing that has to be ensured, because if the identity is held to be anonymous, then there's no way of tracing back to who the complainant was. So I think
Something
that's
that
the
didn't
first.
happen in Satyendra Dubey's case.
Yes, or in Manjunath's case where it didn't happen actually. I think the second part is sometimes even if you maintain anonymity, sometimes even then there can be victimization, there can be instances of violence, because somehow you will be able to, some other organization will reveal their identity. So in that case, I think you need the organization which looks into the complaints, they should also be empowered to sort of give directions to the police to ensure protection, like in a time-bound mechanism, more importantly. And both of these provisions are there in the draft legislation.
Nearly everyone currently is using the Right to Information Act and possibly pointing out to loopholes in different aspects. Could be PDS, could be the MCD, etc. So they're not whistleblowers in that technical sense, but they're whistleblowers nevertheless. I think two men here actually fit that definition very, very perfectly, because you've got your own jobs in a sense, but you've used the RTI to bring out information of either corruption or non-utilization of funds, etc. I want to know from you, Did you face threat? Did you face intimidation?
Yeah, I did. I started like it's been 5 years. I've been using RTI, and the first incident where I used RTI was a big scam that I exposed. Especially the kind of material they use for laying down the roads. It was against the MCD. The RTI has revealed the kind of the information we looked for, the kind of gloves in hand between the contractors and the officials. There was action by the Anti-Corruption Bureau as well, but what we found within 2-3 weeks, when the matter came into the public notice, the threats were there. The people, walking into the house, directly or directly victimization of the things, putting indirect pressures. So it was tough. This is becoming more of a phenomena that if you are facing those people who are into corruption, then you have to live with it.
Okay.
And that is the main thing.
If you can pass the mic to Rishikesh, because you filed several RTIs in different sectors as well and have faced similar threat and intimidation both individually and as a group, Parivartan.
Before I speak something, I just want to let you know that before coming to your show, I got a news that one of my friend who was using RTI in Greater Noida for the land mafia, and he has been killed, and he was burnt alive. And I personally faced, along with my other friends, the threat, the attack, and everything. For what reason? For just that we were able to unearth the corruption in FPS in the beginning, and then also in the health sector. So it's a continuing process. We are still fighting and will fight further, and this group will not end with these kind of incidents.
Before I take it back to the panel, I want to know, why do you want to continue? I mean, what is it that you get that you want to continue to file RTI and dig out this information, which frankly speaking only a limited number of people are interested in, and at the cost of it is fairly grievous?
Yes, cost is grievous, but some has to take the initiative in the society. Someone has to come forward. Everybody will see that this is a kind of thing that one can lose their life.
Do you agree to the subline that he's made, the subtitle that he's made for the film, Idiot Tha Sala?
किसी को तो idiot बनना पड़ेगा. किसी को तो बनना पड़ेगा.
That's a good one. As we're wrapping up this show, because as you mentioned before, lots of people who had no connection with your family actually came to you, helped you in this fight. So in some ways, Manjunath won. No, that's not a thought you believe in, or that's us just trying to put a spin.
I don't know how people look at it, but I lost him, right?
What would you want his life to mean to the many people who are here, who are fighting similar battles, for all of us?
There's nothing, it's me, I lost it, that's it. I lost him, that's it.
Raghvendra, I don't want to push you, but is there any final thought that you want us to leave the show with?
See, I've seen one thing about, like, I'm not talking about my brother, is that some people have got something within them, like, that keeps pushing them. I've seen my brother with my own eyes, like he going and fighting for what cause?
He was made of something
Why
else.
should he go back to Lakhimpur and fight with those guys? Stay back in Bangalore, forget IOCL job, stay for 2-3 months time, and then he can easily find another job and lead a life. There's something there within these people. Look at that guy. He lost his friend and then he's still telling that I want to go with it. What is that which is telling them to do it? So there's something there within them. And I hope this movie inspires the people. And the reason I did not want to say anything positive is that we lose the close ones. That is what pinches it. I would love that everyone starts fighting against corruption. But what do you get? You tell me at the end of the day. Is there any guarantee for life? Is there any guarantee for life? Okay, I know how much painful it is to lose someone who is close to you. Okay, I am able to talk, but look at my parents. They cannot talk. It took almost 7 years for me to bring them to the normal stage. They had almost lost themselves.
So I think that's the thought we're going to leave this show. I'd like to thank all of you and our panelists here for joining us. That's the somber thought we're leaving you musicians with. I think play us something that is integral to this film, but that also salutes the bravery not just of Manjunath, but his very, very brave family as well.
दुनिया गोल है, हम सब लोग गोल माज